Hello and welcome again to Between the Sheets, the programme where we look inside the papers to find the stories that you need to know about. Today I'm joined by Dawn Neeson, broadcaster and columnist, and of course comedian Dave Chawner. Thank you to you both. Welcome. Here we are, and let's get tucked straight in, because the thing is that on the front pages everybody's saying we're back in business, we're moving forward with this, with that, and that's because people think that the conversation is all over about vaccine passports, but it's only just started. Double vaccination does reduce it, but I also will defend to the hilt an individual who says, for whatever reason, I don't want to have the vaccine. It's the government's job to give you the information to do it, but if you choose not to, your choice.
But there are the vaccine fascists that say that makes you selfish. You are putting my life at risk and my granny's life at risk by not having that double vaccine. We should all be vaccinated twice over.
But do you think that Michael Gove, Dave, do you think Michael Gove, when he said that you are selfish if you don't have the vaccine, was he right?
No, I don't think that helps the debate. And actually, you know what? When there are conspiracy theorists out there that don't believe in it, etc., it's only going to push them to say, well, there's obviously something wrong with this if you have to force people to get it. So it's not going to help anything.
Exactly. And it's like, I had this debate the other day, and it was a game pegged on Australia. I think it was in the Mail or the Times. I can't quite remember which paper now. But it was like, you now have the right, it's now considered polite to be able to go up to a complete stranger, say like if you're getting in a taxi and there's a driver, to say, I'm not getting in your cab unless you've been doubly vaccinated. That is just appalling. How can you go and ask complete strangers for their medical history?
But that's what we're doing.
They might
but then, isn't the flip side? David Aronovich in today's Times is kind of interesting. He's saying that anti-vaxxers are in danger of becoming a cult.
Yes.
And this is where we've pushed it.
Cult.
Yeah,
Cult. With an L.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yes. Anti-vaxxers are in danger of... I've got a cold. Anti-vaxxers are in danger of becoming a cult. Protests surrounding the pandemic are borrowing from Americans' conspiracies and threatening to turn violent. And that is just as bad as those who... you can't be in the middle ground again. It's like... So, for example, if
Brexit.
Why is it that we've now entered a world where you've either got to be vehemently one side or the other argument, or vehemently the other? And I don't know which is more dangerous. Those who say it's right that everybody is forced to have the vaccine, or the anti-vaxxers who are claiming all manner of things on the internet. I mean, both of those people, they're just as bad as each other.
But you can be anti-vaccine passport without being anti-vax.
Correct.
I mean, this is the difference here, and people are blurring these lines, don't you think? That, being anti-vaccine passports doesn't make you an anti-vaxxer.
No, you see, I am very pro-vaccine.
Yes.
But I'm also pro it being a choice that we have.
Freedom.
I've looked at the information. I've taken the view that I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'll respect your right. If you decided not to have it, I'll respect your right not to do it.
We should all respect one another's rights to choose what happens to our own bodies.
Why aren't we?
Well, because we're becoming this draconian North Korean state where the government micromanages everything, including what we put into our bodies.
Well, if it was North Korea, at least the trains would run on time. I want to know.
Yes, but then they wouldn't have the pingdemic.
Fair point. I mean,
they wouldn't do that. Oh, well, you could ping and stay at home. Don't have to work today.
But they haven't got COVID in any case, so it's
they haven't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit of a moot point, really.
Very good point. And speaking of which, people profiteering off the pandemic, this is going to get a lot of people angry. I don't know if you've seen this story that motor insurance have been accused of ripping off drivers.
No.
Yeah, this is because the average motorist is being overcharged by £100 because all motor claims dropped by nearly 30% last year. For example, the number of vans on the road fell by 14%. And people have said that car insurers are... Because you couldn't get out in the car, you couldn't get out and about.
Well, you couldn't do anything.
Well,
and I don't understand why things always go up in price, but they never come down. It's rather like Sadiq Nightmare.
Yeah.
He's imposed the temporary charge on Londoners to move around and the congestion charge. He's now imposed that, and it's sort of written up in a tiny little bit of news in brief. Oh, by the way, the mayor has decided that in fact it's going to stay. It was a temporary charge going to stay to fill the black hole in. It's like, how dare you How dare you stop the recovery, stop people moving around until or unless you have not delivered on your promise to open the new lines, you have not delivered on your promise to make sure that trains are running on time or to deal with the pandemic, and you haven't delivered on your promise to make London a safer place for its people. But by the way, we're going to tax you more anyway.
The thing that gets me more angry is that, like, outside of London, looking at the rest of the country, that, like, rail fares go up by like 4 or 5%, and I'm like, brilliant, okay, my train's going to be 4 or 5% better.
No.
It gets
No.
worse every year, and that I think that is terrible, because you know what, I think a lot of people will go, well, Londoners, whatever, you get enough stuff anyway, but for the rest of the country, that's the only way that people travel around.
If you go around some of the infrastructure around the rest of the country,
Yeah.
you realise how neglected it's been,
Yeah,
whether it's
no.
trains,
Yeah.
but also the roads as well. And the other thing, how look what's been done behind our backs. Two things: there's cycle lanes everywhere that nobody seems to be using properly, and then the second thing, there are holes in every single road, and they put 20-mile-an-hour limits everywhere.
Everywhere.
What
no,
the
that's-
hell are they
yeah, I
doing?
know.
We are governed by cretins, muppets, idiots, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, exactly. But on the other hand, gents, in London, we have got something to celebrate they're spending our money on.
Go
Oh
on.
yes.
The lump at Marble Arch.
Why did they do that?
It looks like the Teletubbies' very own rubbish tip, doesn't it? I mean, it is £2 million of our money.
What?
Yes.
That could have been
£2 million
spent. Yeah. For a slag
So,
heap. Can I say a slag
I mean,
heap
the picture
anymore?
when they did it was pretty bad, but it had big trees and everything else. And it's got these tiny little bushes. The grass hasn't grown properly. It's a muddy old thing. It just looks like a slag heap.
It does look like a slag. I'm not sure you can still say that, but I mean, it does look like a slag heap, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And it's got building site cabins all around it still. Any case, they've closed it after 2 days, so that was successful.
What, they've closed it?
What money well spent. Money well spent.
It's-
You know, roads, who needs roads.
Oh, dear.
And it goes, talking of blithering idiots.
Oh, yes.
I would like giving a shout out to Professor Neil Ferguson.
Oh, yes.
Professor Lockdown.
Yeah.
Professor Lockdown.
Yeah, the man with the morals of an alley cat and a scientist who doesn't appear to know his arse from his... his elbow from his
Bum bum.
Bottom.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so foul language. Any case, in the space of a week, Professor Neil Ferguson from Imperial College, evidently, just days after telling the UK to brace for 100,000 infections a day, has had a complete volte-face and is now saying, all over by October, everyone's fine, don't worry about it.
But
in a week!
Can I just throw something in here? We have provided a platform for experts to predict into the future. When are we going to learn that just because somebody is an expert in something, which I'm sure he is, he's a professor, I'm sure he's done the training.
He's an expert in having a go at his mistress.
Well, that's just maybe. But
Breaking the rules.
I'm sure that's the point. But nobody can predict into the future. And that's where we've got it wrong. We bring these people on as experts and say, what's going to happen? What should we do? And then we listen to their projections. If you listen to his projections, he said the last time, it could be between 50 and 100, or 50 and 110,000.
Yeah.
So he was close on the lower levels, but not on the higher levels.
And he was constantly scaremongering. And you know what? We are only...
Yes,
giving-
but in order to get the media attention, that's what you have to do, which I feel sympathy for these people slightly. I'm sorry to disagree with you. I feel sympathy for the
I
fact that
do.
we're putting these people in this position to
Shoot
look
me
into
now.
the future.
Shoot me now.
I wish I could.
But you can't do that. It's violence. Any case, but we're only giving a platform to the right kind of expert.
But
we're only giving a platform to the experts that are full of the doom mongering.
But
stay
it's
at
going
home,
back to
don't
vaxxers,
go out,
anti-vaxxers.
you'll
We go
die.
right to the extreme instead of where is the middle line
Yeah.
that says
Yes.
here is the sensible, pragmatic
but why,
thing to do.
Why? I hate him in any case. Why? Sorry, Dave. But why aren't we giving more room for debate, especially the BBC? I mean, you can't get Neil Ferguson off the BBC. It's on them on the blooming weather. Like the Great Barrington Declaration. Those scientists, respectable scientists, why don't they ever get a platform?
But that's also because we've decided that there can no longer be conversations about. So, for example, if a lot of people gather because they are anti-vax or because they are anti-lockdown or because... I do think it should be reported. I don't understand why, just because something's reported, oh, well, it might feed this, it might feed that, the blanket news blackout...
Feeds it even more.
That's not the sort of country I want
No,
to live in.
no.
If you want to... The way I work is that whether I agree or disagree with something, I will absolutely make sure that we have people with their voices and their views so that you can hear them. And the way that you deal with it is not by cancelling, it's by argument and discussion.
It's about debate. Debate
Exactly.
without hate, which is exactly what we do on this marvellous programme.
Well, here's a debate.
Yes, please.
I would be very interested to see what both your views are on this. Michael Flynn, who is a small salesman over in Ireland.
A small salesman.
Small salesman.
Like a
He's like, it's half a foot high. Yeah, he's blue. I think they call them Smurfs. He has, his nickname's Mattress Mick. Doesn't tell you why his nickname's Mattress Mick, because he owns a corner shop. He has banned people from keeping their cash in their bras.
Well.
Don't you keep your cash in your bras?
Quite clearly not.
It's the new BBC One show, Cash in the Bra.
Right.
He said it's for his own personal safety that after the heat wave, he'll not be accepting any bra money.
Well, I mean, would you really want to have a sweaty note?
Who honestly keeps the twopenny bits with the threepenny bits?
I like.
Yes. But who
I
honestly?
don't even know what's happening today.
Very good point.
But who seriously keeps money in their intimate areas, James?
Apparently, some people in Dublin.
Clearly, I think that should be banned, and I'm with him.
Thank you.
I'm with
I
Mattress
must admit, I
Mick.
wouldn't want anything sweaty from anywhere
No.
intimate in your body.
Meanwhile, can I surprise you with something?
Go
I
on,
thought
give
it
us
was
a try, love.
I thought it was the sidebar of shame that was really well read. Clearly not. Guardian is the most widely read newspaper site for news, according to Ofcom. The research by Ofcom found that 23% of consumers who use websites or apps for news turn to The Guardian, which also hosts The Observer's online content. This is just such rubbish.
Why would they lie about that, though?
Catherine Viner, editor-in-chief of The Guardian News and Media, said, "The Ofcom research shows that our readers really trust The Guardian journalism." In fact, actually,
sorry.
this is what I think of it.
Why would they lie? Like, no, genuinely though, if we're doing debate without hate.
I don't think it's a lie. See, I don't think it's a lie.
It shows you 76% of all statistics are made up. Watch out, people. They're lying to you. They're lying, I say.
I tell you what, I just think it was 76% of people who work at the BBC. I think they just asked the BBC because the BBC are the only people.
£135,000 a year, by the way, spent by the BBC on The Guardian for 1,300 copies of that newspaper every week. Well done for spending our money so well, the BBC. Thank you. Thank you.
It's free online as well.
Do you know how many mounds of dirt you could get in Marble Arch for that sort of money? You know, it'd be brilliant.
But it's a lovely. It costs what, £6 to go and have a look around a man.
Seriously?
Yeah, Amanda Dirt. Yeah, before they cancelled it. Yeah.
Insane.
Meanwhile,
No, I think.
Meanwhile,
What's he getting out now, Dave?
Meanwhile, to the world of television. So, interestingly enough, if you turn into the business pages, you'll find out that love is in the air for ITV as dividends set to return. Because, they've been putting on such good television. Meanwhile, if you were an investor in ITV, I suggest you be selling your shares quite quickly. Why? Because Carol wields the axe. Carol has ended the X Factor run after 17 years, probably 7 years too late.
That's 10 years too late, to be honest.
And ITV have got to invent some new programmes.
thank
If they're
you.
making money out of Love Island, which is a washed up load of old tripe.
It's just Lord of the Flies in bikinis. Like, I don't understand why anyone would watch it.
And they're not even bikinis, because we were talking about breasts just now and keeping your money in them.
Very aware where I'm
Those
looking.
girls have so much underboob, they couldn't get half P there, could they, really?
It is
So it's not
astonishing that they've spent so much time rinsing this organisation that they've forgotten. Content is king. New ideas are where you make money, and streaming and digital transformation is what you need to do. I don't understand what on earth is going on
Although
there.
they were well ahead of the curve on The Masked Singer, weren't they? You know what I mean? Like, that took off before the pandemic.
absolutely. Wear a mask and sing.
People are...
It's a shocking programme.
I quite enjoy it.
God, like, I'm not
quite
going to
like
say
it.
anything.
I'm sorry,
dirty
it's a bit of a
television.
guilty pleasure.
I'm not going to say anything. Sorry, Joel. Speaking of
It's
organisations
like,
that are...
was that a casual little name drop there?
Yeah, he's
Like,
I got that. That wasn't a,
that's why I'm not rinsing
Is he your mate?
That's why I'm
Is
not
he your
rinsing
mate?
it. Yeah. But what I will say...
Wow. Just what a name drop there.
How is it?
Where's he to review the papers? Bring him in.
Right, thanks very much for that. Speaking of organisations that are getting rinsed, the RNLI, where do you stand on this one? People being asked to let immigrants drown, and I'm sure I'm going to get a load of hate, that you should show your...
You woke lefty.
You'll show your passport before you save the life. Where do you stand on this?
I actually think if someone was drowning, I don't care what their political persuasion was or where they were from, I'd save their lives.
I would be.
You woke lefty!
In my world, it's that simple. If someone's drowning, I'm going to save their lives.
You save their life and you ask the questions later.
And then what do you do if they answer wrong?
No, but if someone's life is in peril, you save it.
Yes.
And I don't understand. Where I find it really troublesome is that we're putting these people's lives in peril because the French are kind of, no, nothing to do with us, go that way.
No.
And we've just given them another 55 million quid. You would have thought that they might stop a few more.
I know, but they're not because they don't like
It's not value for money. It's rather like the English person who says, oh, it's not cooked very well. Oh, it's delicious! I won't be sending that back. And it's like, yes, 55 million quid. Here, have all of our money. Well done, you've done such a good job. And really,
James, is this the new ITV show that you're pitching? That you like the new show is you save people, and then they've got to sort of like come up with a reason that they shouldn't be. They should be saved.
Just as you're resuscitating them and giving them the kiss of life. It's like, excuse me, where's your papers? What country are you from? Syria. Oh my God, get back in.
Well, I'm sorry, but Keith Lemon is a bit washed up, so it's time for a new panel show. Save or lose. Save or lose. Stay or go home. I mean, look, Chris Evans used to do Don't Forget Your Toothbrush. We could have that. We could have a whole audience of people who've come over. Oh, you got the question wrong. We got the plane outside. Off you go.
Any case, can we talk about another thing that's on TV at the moment? This is almost on the BBC, not quite because they've messed up on doing the negotiation. The Olympics.
Oh, the Sham Olympics.
I just want to say well done to our Olympians for not only.
Well, at least you did at least you've done what Nicola Sturgeon wouldn't. Congratulate them.
Well, absolutely, because the amount of achievement and effort and dedication that takes to getting out there, let alone winning all those medals.
You're not interested.
Well done.
This is what Dawn Neeson's interested in. On the back pages of all the papers, there's nude filth.
Naked men.
There's naked men, naked swimmers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all the most extraordinary,
nipples. But they've got
extraordinary
gold medals.
shape.
Tiny nipples.
But one of them's ginger.
What's wrong with that?
I've got one of them at home. I don't need another one.
Brilliant.
What's wrong with being ginger?
Well, speaking of the Olympics, have you heard about the commentator in Greece that has been sacked for his racist remarks?
Yeah, there's been a lot of that going on.
He made an offensive joke about a South Korean player, which the broadcaster that he was with found incredibly funny, but then due to the backlash, he's been taken off air for what has been dubbed as blatant racism.
But the other one was in the cycling as well.
Oh, what was this?
It might have been the French. I can't remember. There was a French commentator or someone to do with the French team who was urging the French cyclists to catch up with the camel riders, talking about the Algerian cyclists.
Yes.
He had to apologise.
I'm not surprised.
For that.
It's an absolute disgrace. But I think we are enjoying the Sham Olympics, but I think that somebody needs to have a chat with our rowing team. They're really not. They've sat on their laurels.
But what? Yeah, well, we're good at sitting down sports normally, but that obviously we mess up on.
That one.
Maybe our rowing team need to help out the RNLI. That could be a nice kind of combination.
But whose side are you on? Yeah, absolutely. Whose side are you on between Simone Biles, the gymnast who's retired on mental health issues at the moment, and Piers Morgan, a fat middle-aged man?
Very unbiased question there.
Very unbiased question. Dave.
I'm full Simone on this. Like, look, I will come across as a lefty wokey, and as I sit here in my mud hut, complain. But I think, look, it's been a long time coming that actually people treat mental illness to the same level as physical illness. And you know what? I'm not going to pretend that I'm a doctor. I'm not going to pretend that I know her GP's notes. And I would be interested to know if Piers Morgan does know her medical notes and the full story behind this.
But you see, what I would say on it is it should be down to any individual. If you decide that you're not up for something, don't do it.
Exactly.
Now,
no, I totally agree.
It doesn't matter whether it's for mental health or...
butts coming?
No, it doesn't matter whether it's for mental health or other reasons. If you don't feel that you want to do something, it's your decision. If you have a contract, then it's up to you to discuss it with your employers as to how or why or what. And if you are an individual, like a sports person, you don't have a contract with anybody, and it's up to you to decide. And a mental battle is as strong as the physical one.
Of course it is.
And I find it difficult to understand. Now, quite often, I think Piers comes out with some good stuff. Yeah. Not on this occasion.
No, I totally agree. And you know what concerns me slightly, doing the feminist bit, sort of like the woke feminist bit here.
Love this.
People have had a go at Naomi Osaka, the tennis player, for similar reasons. Normally men again, as well as obviously now Simone Biles. But people like Tyson Fury talking about their mental health and their struggle in their athletic career is fine. Men support that. But a young woman saying similar things is targeted.
But
Any case, feminist hat off.
No, keep it on.
Let's talk about...
No, keep on the feminist hat. Women must get 2 in 5 board seats, firms are told.
Oh.
I think this is absolutely insulting.
So do I. So do I, actually.
Not because I don't want to see women on boards. I do. I want to see more women. I want to see more variety. I want to see people from different economic and social backgrounds. I want to stop employing people on the basis of the colour of their skin or their sexuality or their gender. But when you have people like this who are saying these are the rules, this is embarrassing. So this is public companies with too few women on their boards will be forced to explain themselves to the City of London under new proposals meant to boost diversity. Who are these cretins who are coming up with this woke nonsense at the Financial Conduct Authority? Get rid. It's going to make it worse.
I think this is entirely embarrassing and also patronising that you say that 2 in 5 women should get board seats. I think it is so incredibly wrong that they think in a misogynistic way just giving the women furniture, just giving them the seats is going to be enough. Like, no, they're not going to sit on the boards, they're just going to give them the seats and say, go home, this will look lovely by a log fire. Just because you're a woman, you like furniture.
But also,
terrible.
That's terrible. But I do like the idea of trying to push. I think actually.
Where's Joe? He has mental health issues.
Sorry.
He's just going to go and retire and lie down for a bit.
I'm actually here on a council grant, so that's, everyone wins.
We're diverse here. We include people that...
This, viewers, is charity.
That's
These are work experience.
I wouldn't like to think that I've been given any job on the grounds that I had breasts, whether I kept money in them or not.
Is that a genuine concern for people that they're being given this out of charity rather than merit?
Honestly, I've got a friend who is being given more and more work. Now, this is their words, not mine. More and more work in the media industry because they are non-white. And he said to me, he goes, before the woke culture took over, I felt like I was pretty much invisible. But now, he goes, it's even more insulting because I feel like I'm being hired, not because I'm good at what I do, which he is, by the way, he's a journalist, but because I tick the box of having a black face there.
The problem is, though, we're in a bit
which
of a...
Which is so sad.
It is sad, because I want people to be there because they're the best for whatever they do.
But then the argument goes, we're in an adjustment period. Things don't happen overnight.
Yeah, but
sometimes you have to, exactly like you were saying earlier on, sometimes you have to push the needle a bit too far in order to make any movement at all.
But I think that if you don't go right back to the cause of the problem, and the cause of the problem is right into education, into schools, into aspiration, into careers, that people talk about, media in certain disparaging ways, and a lot of people in media have come through a circuitous route. You trained, apparently, as a comedian.
Really?
They found me on the street.
Wait, can you just define comedian, possibly?
Please do.
It's exactly. This is a new meaning to the term comedian that we hadn't previously been aware of. Whereas Dawn, you've been a journalist, you've been a hack, you've been an editor, and now you're an economist. So, and you do all these other things off the basis of what you've done. I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
I wear low-cut bras, obviously.
So she keeps her cash.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we're all in agreement.
Can I just mention, honourable mention to the Scottish Government, please?
Oh, yes,
talking
please
about
do.
pushing the needle too far. They've put out a statement boasting about the vaccine again. Over 55,000 pregnant people in England and Scotland have had the coronavirus vaccine. They're women. Just saying, okay? I'm just leaving that one out there. They are women. As a woman, I'm being written out of history by the Scottish Government. We can go on.
But
it's going to be woke.
Here we go.
Don't.
But you are still a person. You're saying you're being written out of history.
What's wrong with being a woman?
No, I didn't say anything. All I said was you're still
Why are you going high-pitched like a woman?
Because then the dogs will come and they will kind of that's how I call
think they
them.
need to.
But you're not being written out of history because
you're being more dog-like because you're digging. And I'm looking forward to finding out what little bone you find there.
Don't believe the allegations, James. But I do think that you're not being written out of history because you are still a person. A woman's a subset person.
What's wrong with the word woman?
What's wrong with the word people?
What? Look, no one's saying we're getting rid of the word man, but we're trying to write the word woman out of history. It put an X in
I
it.
think we are getting rid of the word man.
We shouldn't.
How?
Well, like, I mean,
Why would you want to do that?
What's wrong with being a woman and a man?
Whoa.
What are you
Why
then?
would you want to do that?
I'm just saying, if there are people, like, surely it is a
Don't call me Shirley.
You can
She's
be,
a woman.
You can be a Shirley if you want.
I could be in this
Yeah.
day and age.
It's a linguistic thing. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't
Yes,
hurt
it does.
anyone.
It costs people their identity.
You know
Oh, come on.
You know what? It hurts me. I'm of the generation where I fought hard to being feminist and fighting for women's rights and championing women in journalism and on Fleet Street, and now I am being told to shut up and I can't even talk about being a woman.
Quite often by men.
No, I disagree with that. I fundamentally disagree with that because I agree with what you said earlier on. Is yes, it's time to have the debate. It's the time to talk about it openly and have difficult conversations. I'm not trans. I don't get it. Tell me.
It doesn't mean that I'm transphobic though. Just about talking about being a woman.
No, absolutely not. And that's why I agree with you that actually, like, I think having that debate and being talking about it, because yes, it might hurt you, but also equally for trans people, it might hurt them.
Are women being cancelled?
Yes.
Talking of somebody else who's being cancelled.
Go
A
on.
statue of the explorer, he's a man I'm afraid, Henry Morton Stanley, could be pulled down because of his links to colonialism
Dr. Livingston, I presume.
and exploitation in Africa. Well done you.
Yeah.
The statue, erected in Stanley's hometown in Denbigh in North Wales, went up in 2010. It was the subject of protest during Black Lives Matter campaigns last summer. Where is this going to end? If you take down that statue, then we no longer know who he is, what he did, and also you can be relevant in history and done some good stuff, but also have some kind of nefarious part. But you can't judge people with today's qualities in yesterday's world, because otherwise, to be honest, you pull down every church because of what they did in the 15th, 16th, 17th, etc. I mean, you just would.
I'm all for that. I mean, like, I'd love to have a little flat in the church. Like, yeah, pull them down. Get rid of the churches. So that's what you're saying. You're actually saying get rid of the churches. You're not saying...
I'm not saying cancel the churches.
The Church of England had a good go at that, haven't they? It's like burning
burning
relics that might offend somebody at some point, which is pretty much everything then.
Well, exactly. But then there is also, though, the other story which has appeared within the papers, which is about the police force talking about taking the knee.
Oh, not again. Are we still doing that?
Did you not want to do that?
Look, take the knee, don't take the knee. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. Your
Here
choice.
We go. Tucked away in the bottom corner of the Telegraph. Minorities, it says, put off the police as chiefs won't take the knee. Senior police officers' refusal to take the knee and concern over the Black Lives Matter movement is putting off young black and minority ethnic people off joining the force, it was claimed yesterday. Do you agree with that?
You know what? I'm so weary of the division and the hatred with everything, even talking about what blooming gender you are, that I'm just done with the whole thing now. I just want to have a group hug. If the government lets us do that.
No, they won't let us do that.
More.
I think you can hug in a safe way now.
Yes, I think you can.
But aren't they banning sort of people who don't know each other that well from having sex still? Didn't I read
in
that
Spain.
somewhere? I think, in Spain.
In
I thought I read
Murcia,
that
because
somewhere.
of a spike in COVID cases, people who do not live together will not allowed to be able to sleep together. However, I have found a little loophole
What's he
here.
going to say? He's got a loophole. He's got a loophole for his spike.
Keys in a bowl, people. Any private or public meeting between those who don't live together between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. is prohibited. Now, I'm not going to give anyone any ideas, but I can see a big loophole there. You know what I mean?
I can see several ways around this particular
There's
one.
always a way around it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, since you love this newspaper,
It's got me on it normally. Not today.
Boss backed off.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's not today.
So, I mean, who puts a headline on a national newspaper?
Don't write the headlines. Not anymore.
Chuffing Eck.
Chuffing Eck, love.
Northern accents will vanish soon. I mean, this is great news.
No, it's not.
We're all going to end up talking like James.
No,
that's
terrible.
Clipped southern.
Good. Then we all might understand each other.
All good music is Manc. That's what I think.
Is what?
Manc or Sheffield. Like the good bands.
London's done its fair bit.
Go
Madness.
Madness, yeah.
Yeah,
Rolling Stones.
I'm
Yes.
not against it, but I love a regional accent.
Pet Shop Boys.
Oh, maybe you're pushing it a bit far.
Level 42. I don't know where they're
Yeah,
going
you're
from.
definitely pushing it too far.
And I'm going back into the 80s as well. I'm showing my...
Yeah, so you are showing your age. But I like a regional accent.
love a
I
regional
married
accent.
someone that's half breed, half Manc. I mean,
Lucky you.
know.
Cornish, Manc, Sheffield, Yorkshire. I
But
know
Birmingham,
Sheffield's
where are
in
you on
Yorkshire.
Birmingham?
Oh,
yeah.
well, my dad was a Brummie, and it's
Oh, yeah.
terrible.
Now,
There
that's
you
a
go.
disappointing accent,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Terrible accent. You can't.
What's the
So
sexiest?
disappointing.
Oh,
What's the sexiest? The sexiest accent?
French.
No.
No, in this
No.
country, yeah.
In
Food.
this country.
Yeah, French.
The simple answer. 2 words.
The ones that
Received.
haven't drowned.
Received pronunciation.
What?
No.
Yeah, my accent.
Oh.
There's received pronunciation. There's never given pronunciation, is there?
Well, quite.
Very one-way system.
It is
that.
a one-way
But the
system. and
reason
so
this
it
is
should be.
happening is because the northern accent is going to it's
'Cause
dying
people's-
out. The
Good.
scientists have actually looked at this
Yes.
properly, haven't
Yes,
they?
they
And
have.
it is dying out.
There's a whole
And-
full-page story on page 7 of the Star if you want.
But I
More
like
interesting
a
to look at
regional
Jack Grealish, to
accent.
be
I
honest.
do
Although
like that.
I think he got dressed in the dark on this particular occasion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
I love these stockings, Nora. I think that's a Nora Batty reference there.
can you try and have a say in a northern accent? Go on. She says in her best Cockney.
It may mean the end for phrases like E bar gum, A up cocker, stop mithering,
Mithering.
oi pet,
Oh,
or
sure did.
int.
So
What does it? Sorry, what does the int ginnell mean?
It's just like watching Biker
is-
Grove if they've all had a
Like a
stroke.
groove. Oh, that was
They
good.
kind of-
Come on, that was good. That's the first and last time I'm ever going to say that. What is int ginnell?
I don't know. I'm from London.
Yeah. Linguistics experts say children find words and phrases from the south easier to pronounce as they hear them more often in the media.
I think that is true. I absolutely think that is true.
And love the Americans for once. They've been watching Peppa Pig, and everything's super mummy.
Oh.
I say that's fantastic.
What's even-
I think it's about time that we send more stuff over to the United States of America. Get them all speaking properly.
Well, we have St Harry. Please just keep him.
Please keep Harry.
Yeah.
I thought we'd got a whole programme without mentioning Harry.
I know.
But a brilliant story from the States is that in Washington, a couple are being sued for £112,000 because they gave a 1-star review to a roofing company.
Oh, good story.
They've been contacted by the company's called ERS, and they are suing them for legal for damaging their reputation. However, and I think this is a big part that's overlooked in the story, the owner of the company got in touch with the man that left the review and said, I know where you live.
Well, I've just done your bloody roof. Of course you do.
Quite threatening, really.
Quite threatening, but also I think reviews have to be genuine. And if you think
Absolutely.
somebody's terrible,
Yeah.
give them a terrible
Absolutely.
review.
There's a great 5-star review of a place in Ohio that says this is a beautiful place. I used to go here when I was a kid. Brilliant time to get away from it all and relax. And it was a prison in Ohio, and I think that's a brilliant review.
Very good review. Meanwhile, and finally from you,
And finally, excuse me, my voice has gone all croaky and husky.
I like
That's
it.
because I'm going to talk about sex.
Oh.
Evidently, according to model Caprice Beret, who I like Caprice, as she's very funny and very feisty, her advice to women is have sex with hubby. It only takes 5 minutes. What do you do for the other 4, Caprice? That was my
Yeah.
query. Dinner, cigarette, whatever. She's saying that even if you're not in the mood, ladies, to keep men happy, because you're simple creatures, evidently, all you need is a good meal and a good cuddle.
I'd say it's the opposite way round.
And that keeps men happy. And so, girls, even if you've got a headache, keep your man happy, keep the home fires burning.
See, I like stuff like that, especially in a committed relationship. You've got to do it once a week, and it's always when you're tired and you just want to go to. It's like it's like taking the bins out, right? That's what it's like. And you're like
Your
this.
girlfriend's lucky. I could just take the bins out, love. Brace yourself.
Is it the brown bins? It's kind of one of those. I just think it's a lot of faff.
are you single at the moment?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I think
my
we need to have a
my girlfriend
conversation.
is a lucky girl. No, I think it kind of
Oh,
goes.
the voice went high there. I think we should move on. I'm
Once
so sorry, but
once a
we've
week.
now started airing your dirty linen problems on. Let's move on quickly, because my end finally it's a little bit of a picture story, but there we are. We'll try and see if I
Go
can
on,
click on
let's
it.
show us your picture.
Threat of legal action over snap of naked man chasing boar. A woman whose photograph of a naked man in pursuit of a wild boar at a Berlin lakeside went viral has said she might take legal action against the company that has immortalised the spectacle for model railway enthusiasts. And there is the picture. Look at that. That's a marvellous picture.
Why was he... look, should I ask this question, but why was he chasing the boar in the first place?
I have no idea.
It's
the
like
photo
James
of the
was
naked
saying,
man.
it's the new series of Peppa Pig.
Oh no!
But that's how
no,
they
he was
attract the
chasing the boar
American.
because the boar had run off with his laptop bag.
that old
it went
excuse.
viral and left the model railway set at the scene.
That old
And look,
excuse.
there you are. You see, and then you got the model railway. It's a lovely story to be
It's-
immortalised
Yeah.
in a model railway like
Yeah.
that. I think it's time for us to end this particular episode of Between the Sheets. I'm sure you've been entertained majorly. Yeah. So thanks once again to Dave Chawner and to Dawn Neeson. Thank you both very much indeed for staying between the sheets with me, James Max. We'll be back next time for some more action.